007 First Light is a big disappointment on PC. First, it only offers a few graphics options to tweak, and what's even worse is that they barely scale performance. It's pathetic, and there are a few negatives with some of the settings, which I will go into. Let's take a look at the CPU performance. In an area with many NPCs, the R5 3600X can dip into the 45 to 50 FPS range. That's just about what is expected from this scenario, so it seems fair. But in actuality, you will most likely never reach the CPU bottleneck limit, as the game's settings won't scale that high performance-wise. You will almost always be GPU limited at low frame rates. So let's take a look at those settings. Starting with resolution scaling. The game only offers FSR and DLSS as options. There is no XeSS upscaling. Anyway, this is one of the worst FSR implementations I have seen in a game, as it has terrible quality, even worse than usual. This only leaves DLSS as the viable option, which looks the most stable, although it still looks a bit softer than expected. What's worse is that performance barely scales with DLSS quality over native, offering only a 15% increase in FPS, which is way below the usual improvement. What's funny is that FSR offers a 55% increase in FPS, but I still don't recommend it as it will greatly degrade image quality. As for texture quality, it gradually and noticeably improves texture resolution with each option. From extensive testing across many levels, I found that the Ultra option easily consumes over 8GB of VRAM, so if you have an 8GB GPU, I don't recommend going over high. For level of detail, going from low to medium most notably enables extra details on the ground textures, while higher options gradually increase the level of detail of meshes. Here is a closer look. High improves mid-distance meshes, and Ultra further improves far distance meshes. As for performance, low, medium, and high perform similarly, while Ultra decreases FPS by up to 5%. Use high for the best balance. Terrain quality is supposed to control the resolution of virtual terrain textures, but I could only notice a difference on medium, at least in this scene. This setting is also supposed to impact VRAM usage, but it was within the margin of error. I recommend using Ultra. Shadow quality on low disables character self-shading, which can be especially noticeable around the eyes, so avoid using low. As for the shadow quality itself, it's horrible on anything but Ultra in this game, as the constant shimmering is very distracting, and even on Ultra, there is still some shimmering visible, but it's not as much. Performance-wise, only when going from low to medium does performance drop a bit, as the other options perform basically the same. VRAM usage, however, increases by around 100 MB with each option, so if you need more VRAM, use this setting as a last resort. Otherwise, I recommend using Ultra. Volumetric fog quality has a very subtle difference between each option, which makes the light shafts more defined. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to really make any other difference, meaning no shimmering or pixelated fog on lower options, and depending on the scene, performance can drop by up to 6%. Therefore, I recommend using low for the optimized setting. Volumetric effects quality on low, medium, and high look almost identical, if not actually identical, while Ultra improves the volumetric effects quality. But during gameplay, and even side by side, the difference is very hard to notice. Performance-wise, when these effects happen, low, medium, and high perform just about the same, while Ultra has a large impact, dropping FPS by up to 22%. Go with high for the best balance. Global illumination quality on low and medium look basically the same, while high tries to improve the quality of global illumination, but introduces more inaccuracies in some areas, and Ultra fixes those inaccuracies and further improves GI quality. But even side by side, the difference can be a bit subtle. Indoors, however, the difference can be a bit easier to spot. Low and medium have this weird dark halo in this arched entryway, while high makes that area look as it should, and once again, Ultra fixes the inaccuracies introduced by high. And as performance is relatively similar between all options, I recommend using Ultra for the best image quality at no measurable cost. As for reflection quality, its biggest impact is on mirrors. What's interesting is that depending on the mirror itself, some of them use the medium option and some use the high option as the lowest quality, other than when being disabled. This means that if you set this setting to medium, some mirrors will still use the high option. Therefore, there is no point in using the medium option, and as the ultra option can sometimes further decrease performance over high, I recommend using high for the best balance. Here are the optimized settings, and as you can see, it's a pretty short and underwhelming list. Now let's see just how much it improves performance. Starting with max settings at native 1440p, the game averages below 30 FPS and can drop down to 25 FPS in the worst case. And by the end of this benchmark, it manages to use up 9GB of VRAM. Switching to the optimized settings, performance barely improves. A pathetic 7 to 14% increase is all we get, and VRAM usage drops by another 300 MB. Turning on DLSS quality increases performance by 10 to 20%, and VRAM usage drops by a further 200 MB over high. And the funny thing is that we are still averaging in the 30 FPS range. The biggest issue with this game's optimization is the extremely limited scalability. This game should not have released in this state on PC. What do you guys think? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and leave a comment. I want to give a big thanks to everyone supporting the channel. And if you would like to help out and get access to the highest quality versions of my latest videos, consider becoming a patron.